Okay, we're on day 5 of the Botanical 30-day challenge. Let's see what the universe wants me to paint. Okay, Ooh, we're gonna paint a giant yellow leaf. It's an aspen leaf, yay! Okay, let's give our watercolors a squirt. We're just gonna focus on the yellows and oranges, because that's all we got. Okay, so we are going to first just focus on the shape of this using, what color are we going to use? Let's do Hansa yellow. Hansa yellow medium. That's a good first one. And then I am just making squiggly lines. There's the middle. I kind of want to bring this up further. And there we go with that. So that's the basic shape. I'm going to fill in the rest with water. And we will do some fun wet on wet techniques with this, because a leaf in of itself is kind of just one big single shape. There's a lot of fun things you can do with watercolor to make it a little bit more dynamic. You would maybe take a first glance at this aspen leaf and be like, well, that's boring. She's just gonna paint a big yellow blob. And yeah, I could, and we could be really simple about it. But I think I'm gonna take the opportunity, since this is pretty simple, to do some fun wet on wet techniques. So I have a lot of different, now I just took Hansa yellow medium. I have a lot of different types of yellows, and we can kind of lean into that variety while we're doing this wet on wet technique. So there's the Hansa yellow light. We did Hansa yellow medium just now. I'm gonna do a lemon yellow. And then let's do some gamboge. Whoo, beautiful. One of the things I'm noticing about this aspen leaf is around the edge is some darker red. And so we're gonna line the edge with some burnt sienna before it dries, so we can maybe get some fun edges with this. So this is too much water over here, so I'm doing some lifting to try to get it a little bit more of an even consistency. Okay, so I'm gonna get my burnt sienna going, and then I'm gonna just delicately go along the edge here. And you'll notice if I do one straight continuous line, I get this edge, but the minute I lift it up, the water drops. So you can either just be okay with that, which I am, or you just gotta make sure you lift up your watercolor brush at the time you want the water to drop. This is something that can be incredibly frustrating for people if you tend towards perfectionism. You're like, oh, I didn't want it to drop there. Or you can just be like, it's a happy accident and you can just deal with it. So let's just continue to work on that, and we will continue along. I wanted to let this dry a little bit to see if I could get some different effects. But alas, doesn't that outlining just do something? I don't know, it's just, I really like it. So let's do the little stem, or try to do the little stem. This little tail right there. And in nature, or at least in this picture, in nature too, it's a little bit thicker at the bottom, and then it comes up to be thin here. And then I'm gonna do this orange vein. I'm always afraid to do veins because I'm just gonna like ruin it or something. And then let's do that scoring fun thing we did yesterday with the nettle. We're gonna do the same type of thing to see if we can get any of the same effects. You're not going to be able to see it in the camera, I don't think. And again, this is our first layer, so we are going to hopefully, when this dries, be able to see some of the wonderful marks this makes. I probably let this dry a little bit too much to actually make a huge impact, but where it's wet, you can see it is working. So we will just let it be for now, and let's come back to this when it dries, and we will do a second layer. Look at me, I can't even let it go. I gotta keep going, I gotta keep going. Okay, let's let this dry. Okay, we're dry, and we have our first layer down. So we are gonna darken this up. Again, wet on wet, so doing our best to get all this wet. We are gonna lean more towards the Hansa yellow medium now versus the Hansa yellow light and the lemon yellow, because I want to really get some of these really, really warm tones without obviously going too orange. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do. You know what also I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do some Quin Gold and see if that isn't too scary. Remember, with watercolor, everything lightens up, so if it looks really dark right now, it's probably just right. That's the fun thing, you know, I like surprises. Watercolor is always surprising to me. Surprises are fun. You have to have a little bit of like trust. But overall, I think surprises in art are fun. You never know how things are going to dry. You never know how the water's going to flow. And that's the one thing I do like about watercolors, that, well, I guess we'll see in 15 minutes what this looks like. Okay, let's, you know, my veins down here worked really good on the dry. So we're just going to, where it didn't get a lot, I'm going to just go into it. And you know, I don't really even need to. I'm going to, but I'm saying out loud I didn't need to, because you don't need every single vein in here. You need, like I've been saying, you need the suggestion. If you have a couple clustered, your eye will automatically be like, yep, okay, that's veins, that's a leaf. I don't need to see every single leaf. And it will just move on to the next thing. So I have a little bit of pooling right here, which I don't like, because that could, if you have a bunch of, actually, I'm going to use that. Happy accident. It's a piece of a paper towel. If you have a lot of pooling in one area, it could dry with some hard edges or cauliflowers, which for some paintings make a lot of sense. But for this, I wanted a little bit to be more dry smooth. So getting rid of some of those pooling edges. It's looking really good. Okay, now we are going to do some, this is where timing is everything. We are going to experiment with some dots. See all these dots on this aspen tree or aspen leaf? And we're going to see in a very inconspicuous place how much spread we get. So that's a lot of spread. And this is where timing comes in. If I wait another couple minutes, or if I go to another area that's more dry, I won't get any spread. Like, look at that. No spread right there. So it's really kind of, you can't see my body, but I am kind of angling myself to the side to see where the shine is, where it's not, and strategically putting, well, that happened, my burnt sienna in those areas. So not trying to be perfect about this, but wanting it to look as random as possible. And our human eyes don't like random, so you can see I'm kind of almost doing it all together, evenly spaced apart, which is not what nature does. So I have to really get this more random. Okay, we're gonna let that go and then see how this dries, and then I think we will be done. Very nice. Here's the reference photo, and here's my little painting of an aspen leaf. Day 5 in the books.